Hello again. Um, Got a message earlier. Somebody asking about Sylph Arena. Now, the thing they were asking was somewhat, I guess, how it works because their 61K team was beaten by a 51K team. There's a couple of different ways things like that can happen. Um, Over here, and I hope the person that asked me this question is able to watch this video and hopefully get some tips from this. But over here, you see your skills that are going to be used. This can play a very large part in why you might lose to a team that might potentially be weaker than you. The first reason that you might lose to a team that BR-wise might be weaker than you is they may have one really powerful Sylph, and you may have three mediocre Sylphs. So if you have one really strong Sylph and the person you're fighting, they have three, but they're only mediocre, they may have more BR than you, but since you have one really powerful Sylph, it can be pretty easy to still win. Another way that can happen is if you are somewhat equal. I mean, 61,000, 51,000 are not that big of a difference. So that person, they may have just one Sylph that's stronger than yours, or they may have a better skill setup over here. One thing that can really affect whether you win or lose is a lot of people do just like I've done here and set up all their Delphics on the first skill. If you fight somebody that has a strong Triton and their Triton's first move is the big splash, the Triton's Delphic, that can also bind your characters, which means if if that bind happens to my three guys here, I lose my entire first turn, and effectively I lose my strongest hit against him. So I have also had actually that problem of not on my guy, but when I was running either an alt or someone else's character for them, that I was losing to somebody with a much weaker team because their Triton's Delphic kept binding all of my guys when they right before they were using their Delphic. So that can really throw things off. But it's a little hard for me to demonstrate some of this stuff for you because my Sylphs are so OP compared to everybody else's on this server. But let me try to. I'll have to lose one to try to bump myself down a bit, get my weakest Sylph. And I'll try to show you what I mean about you can beat somebody if you just have one strong Sylph and they have three mediocre Sylphs. Okay, 64,000. I think my Hades is actually more than that by itself. Yep. Um, I don't think that'll work for that. Well, let's try this. Yeah, the dog might work for that one. Okay, so I've got here just one Sylph setup, just under 50,000, and we've got this person. What's she got? Nothing real weak, but definitely nothing very strong. But as you can see, her BR 15,000 higher than mine here. And because I have the strongest Sylph, I get to go first, and as you saw, I took out two of hers just in one shot there. That is another thing that affects it is um, the way that the order of turns goes is it takes the highest BR Sylph, and that one gets to go first, and then it just goes down the list from there. So, as you saw, my doggy got to go first, and then it would have been her. I can't see her now, but let's look at Sabi. If I were to fight him right now, his Hercules would go first, then my dog, then his Athena, and then his Hades. It goes strictly off of BR. So that is another thing that can really hurt you is if the other person that, like I said, has one stronger Sylph, they get to go first. They use that Delphic against you, and depending on how much stronger that is, it could take out your whole team, could take out maybe just your Triton or your Iris to prevent you from healing. I mean, all sorts of little things like that can happen. So when you're going to do your Sylph arena, it is very important if you're not OP, if you have a somewhat lower BR team, to pick and choose your opponents wisely. You don't want to pick a team that they might have a Triton that gets the first shot, and then that binds all of your guys. So try to figure out look at things and try to figure out, okay, what would this person's team do? If I'm looking at this team, most likely he's gonna have his Delphic. So if my team were set up like this, then his Triton would get to go first, and if it binded me, I would lose both of my Delphics. So what I would want to do normally, if you're fighting somebody with a strong Triton, just switch these skills around. Switch it to something else. Put your Delphic second. That can really make this is just my second Hercules, so I have no extra skills on there. But just even doing something like that can mean the difference between you winning and losing against a team that could possibly be stronger than you, or just have one stronger Sylph than your team. When Sylph Arena first came out, I just focused on one Sylph at a time. I never believed in I'm going to spread out all my Sepulcrums, spread out all my Mara. I said I want to work on one major Sylph first. I built up my Apollo because at the time that was the best and strongest Sylph, and I built him up, and just I could solo with just my Apollo any team on this server. So just try to focus on what Sylph do you really need the most. For most people, it's a Hercules or a Gaia, because that's what you're going to get the most use out of. Try to put all your Sepulchrum into one, really build up one strong one, and then later on you can work on a second one, a third one. Don't completely neglect them. Don't have a level 80 and then 2 level 1s or anything silly like that, but don't just completely spread out all your resources, because then somebody that is weaker than you will that's what gives them the chance to beat you. If you have any more questions or comments for me, let me know. I will do my best to answer for you, and I'm on Wartune.com, server 153. And just to finish it, I will go ahead and get my spot back. Don't like this guy anyway. if there's more stuff you guys would like to see, I'm still working on exactly how to do a crit video. I have two crit videos that will be coming. One about crit versus enhanced will destroyer, just to compare damage with that, and then another one to explain exactly how crit works, because there's a lot of bad ideas floating out there. But if you have other ideas for videos or stuff you want to see, um, by all means let me know. I don't really do Battleground much anymore, and Arena is kind of also a bit of a tricky thing to do. But other than that, if there's stuff in the game that you'd like to see explained or anything, just let me know. I always try to do my best to accommodate all you guys. Thank you for watching.